So now this is just kind of to get us started here. So it says using ADG with A, D, and G, graph and label the original figure, its image using T13, and then take the new image, perform a R, Y axis, and graph the result. So basically it's saying do the translation, then do the reflection. I tried to word it so that it was more clear than what it usually says. I think I made it uglier than it usually is. But basically do that, then do that. Okay, this is how these are going to work. So let's go ahead and graph our original thing. All right, there is a chance, just like with all the graphing, that this squeaks off the edge of one of the graphs. Sometimes a little bigger chance with these. But remember, if it goes off the edge, we're just going to count carefully and put a couple extra lines on there or something. So we're at -2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then -1, 1, 2. My y-axis is worse than usual. Let me redraw it here. Okay, so there's my y-axis. Let's see here. So we have A, D, and G. So I'm supposed to do T13. That means right 1, up 3. So we're going to go right to the graph. I'm going to go right 1, up 3. Right 1, up 1, 2, 3. Right 1, up 1, 2, 3. Right 1, up 1, 2, 3. So I have A prime, B prime, and G prime. All right, now I think it's super important to write all this stuff down. All right, so A prime, D prime, G prime. Remember, if it says state the coordinates, you have to have them written down or you lose credit. Right now, I just write them out all the time. So A prime is -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. D is 2, 7, and G is 0, 1. So there's those points. Then it says take that thing and go over the y-axis. Now be careful because it's probably tempting to go over the x-axis. I'm going to go over the y-axis, and I like to highlight things we know. So there's that. So now each point goes over the y-axis. Now they're going to go different ways, all right, and that's going to happen. So the D point goes 1, 2 to the green line, and then 1, 2 over to there. The A goes the other direction, but it's because each point does its own thing. So it's 1 away, so it goes over there. And then the G doesn't go anyplace. It's already on the axis, so it doesn't go anyplace. So my point ends up right here. All right, these can get messy because they can all be on top of each other like this. The good thing is I have different colors, so I can make things look a little bit nicer with the different colors. And then I'm going to come over here, D prime prime, A prime prime, G prime prime, and I'll slide it here a little bit in a second to get that coordinate. So D prime prime is -2, 7 if I count carefully. A double prime is 1, 6 if I count carefully. And then G didn't move. So G double prime is 0, 1. All right, so there's my nice graph. All right, it did not tell me to state the coordinates, but if it did, they're all stated. All right, and everything's there. Be very careful when you do one of these. Even the slightest mistake in any of the points throws the whole thing off. It didn't ask me if it's a rigid motion, but if it did, it is a rigid motion because there's no size change in any of these things. There's no dilation happening.